Welcome one, welcome all to Pit Road Productions for round 2 of the No Limit Racing League. We are at Charlotte in the Dirt Pro late model for what should be a very interesting night of racing. Got a 35 lap feature getting ready to go here, and also a couple of heats with an extended field of cars. Here on Pit Road Productions, it's myself, Rhys Gardner, with Daniel Salmon alongside me in the commentary box and also handling production behind the scenes. Zippy, I'm looking forward to this round, honestly. I know that you're not as familiar with dirt racing as I, but I can tell you that the dirt track at Charlotte is one heck of an oval.
Oh, absolutely. And I got to say, Rhys, I'm definitely looking forward to it. And I'll be the first to admit, I do not know my head from my ass when it comes to doing dirt oval racing. But you know what? That's why we have you. Ladies and gentlemen, Rhys Gardner, very, very talented commentator. Very talented driver as well. That was a huge shock to me, ladies and gentlemen. But certainly, I'm looking forward to it. It's our second ever dirt oval event. And you know what? We've had some improvements as well. No Limit Racing, they've got a new logo as well. That's looking really classy. Definitely like the guy who made that. But yeah, we've got a couple of things to go over, actually, including the schedule. So, Rhys, if you want to do the honours, we'll go over the schedule, and while we do that, I'll get the championship points ready as well.
Yeah, indeed. Here we are at Charlotte for round 2. It's a 9-round series going weekly until the 29th of April. Okay, looks a little bit different to the schedule that I was sent, but regardless, we're going to Cedar Lake for the next round, and Eldora, Volusia, Fairbury, Lernerville, Knoxville, and Lucas Oil rounding out our season there in May. So I'm really hoping that we can get some solid fields the whole way through here, because these are some of the best dirt ovals on iRacing. The championship standings, meanwhile, we had 5 drivers here for round 1. We've got nearly double that here for the next round. Jackson Whittington winning the first round of the season, with Dustin Regan and Mike Henderson rounding out your top 3. 5 points between Kenneth Feeney and William Kirk. The rest of them, Wilson, Miller, Hommel, Dorr, Hall, and Gillett, they've only just jumped in for round 2, so everyone else has got a head start of 1 round on them.
Well, certainly, definitely. It's going to be a bit of a disadvantage in doing that, but I believe that the admin team actually worked it, so any newcomers at this point will actually be able to recover that. I think the points were maybe half for round 1, so anybody at this point, you know what, if you still wanted to join these, there's a lot more at play, ladies and gentlemen, but these guys are currently in practice, I believe, as well. Yeah, they're just doing a little bit of practice. So, Rhys, we're going to do probably one of the shortest ever walkthroughs here on the server. Certainly, with being dirt oval, it's not the longest of tracks, but we're going to go on board with Jackson Whittington and see if we can get an onboard lap with him.
Indeed, winner of the first round here around the dirt track at Charlotte. It's incredibly wide. It's got some solid banking down the straights and through the corners as well, and basically you can choose whatever line you want, and you're going to be fast around here, but you need to be brave. You need to control the rotation of the car. Be careful of the slick, the shininess that is reflecting off of those lights. You want to be where there's less light reflected off the track for the best grip out there. But one thing's for sure, the slide job is king here at the dirt track at Charlotte. It's so wide that you can absolutely fire it into these corners. And interesting to note that Whittington is riding the wall there through turn 1 and going a little bit lower coming into turns 3 and 4. So we shall see if that works out for him here. He is currently the second fastest in the practice session. James Dorr has put himself provisional P1 thus far. We will have a qualifying session of 5 minutes, 2 laps each. So we'll see there if Whittington will be able to get that setup sorted, get that lap sorted, and come off with the win like he did in round 1.
Well, I gotta say, Rob, don't get me wrong, I realise these cars were potent and rocking about 700 horsepower, which is about twice as much as you'd get in a Dodge Caravan, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, I mean, it depends just how many how many kids she's got to pick up from daycare at that point. It could seem like it almost has maybe similar horsepower given those situations. But I've got to say, absolutely incredible speeds. Like, you wouldn't have believed it. They're rocking almost 110 mile an hour at parts of this circuit, which is, for lack of better words, definitely for the braver drivers among us, and certainly myself. As much as I love doing dirt and loose surfaces and stuff like that, I honestly don't think I've got the melons for such competition.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I've driven quite a bit of dirt racing myself, and when you get in one of these cars and you're going sideways at those speeds, it becomes a matter of balancing precision and bravery. Obviously, you got the concrete wall on the outside, but especially here at Charlotte, you'll notice that you've also got those tires down low, lining the bottom of the racetrack. If you're wanting to go for a move, you have to try and go to the inside. And if you want to try and preserve that top line for big running later on in the feature, you will have to run that low line. But these cars, they've got a very pointy front end, and I say that literally. They're basically a wedge shape, these cars. You touch those tires, and your front bodywork is going to be gone.
Well, certainly, it's definitely an interesting car, and I was having a little bit of a close look at it as well. Like, the car itself is built offset. This thing is designed for one thing and one thing only, and that is to go around a dirt oval circuit as fast as it possibly can. Certainly myself, I do take great enjoyment in getting something that's designed to not necessarily go on a road surface and make it go, you know, make it comply. Certainly something like, you know, some of the NASCARs, for example, you know, definitely not the most nimble vehicles. And, you know what, these, with the design and the engineering involved in them being so, as they are, you know, honestly, I think this can only do one thing, and that's going to be turn left. But I got to say, Rhys, it does a damn fine job of doing it.
Oh, it certainly does. I mean, the whole strategy around driving a dirt oval car through the corners, there's so much in the way of finesse and control that is needed. Basically, you use the power to kick out the rear end on the way in, and you also drag the brakes a little bit in many of these dirt cars to get that rear end sliding, and then you're basically driving sideways into the cushion, which is the little area just beyond the slick groove around the circuit, where there is supposedly the most grip around a dirt oval. So you got to try and control that slide all the way through, hold the wheel smooth, and make those minor adjustments through the corners. But it's all about getting that rotation right on entry. That's the big challenge in these cars.
Oh, I can certainly believe it. And certainly as well, you know, we've got to thank some of the sponsors as well. P1 Sim Sports being one of them. A huge thanks to them. And definitely Kevin's been an absolute pleasure to deal with. And while we're on the subject as well, I was actually reading a referral program that they're doing over at, you know, No Limit Racing. And I've got to say, P1 Sim Sports really stepping up in the sponsorship game. Give me a quick second here. I'll do a little bit more of a review of it. But basically, from what I could work out, if any driver who you refer and they take part in one race, and they, if I understand this correctly, P1 Sim Racing actually goes and 3D prints you a plaque for your sim rig and mails it out to you. Now, I'm hoping I've got the right understanding of that, but what an absolutely fantastic promotion.
Yeah, that is fantastic. I've noticed, you know, the P1 Sim Sports sponsorship going very well in round one, and you know, we had a chat with the guy behind it after the first round, all the way back at Lanier last week, and you know, certainly a ton of passion behind that, and really interested in providing a great product. Make sure to check out P1 for sure. Well, we are in qualifying at the moment. 5 minutes, 2 laps, and looks like Kenneth Feeney is going to be the first driver out in the number 35. This is how we're going to decide who gets sorted where in the heats. Now, I believe that it's staggered, basically. We're going to have enough drivers here for 2 heats tonight. Basically, what that means is you run the fastest time in qualifying, that's pole position for heat 1. You run the second fastest time, and that's pole position for heat 2. And so it basically goes 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, 4-4 in terms of qualifying times versus heat grids. I could be wrong on that, but that's how I've seen it work in the past.
Well, that's definitely a bit different than what I'm used to, and I'm even more appreciative that we do have you here. But it looks like Kenneth Feeney has just put in a time, but right now, it's this man, James Whittington, the highest IR rating here in the split. So not surprisingly, he's there and he's at the top of the food chain, albeit it is incredibly close. Ryan Gillette, he's a newcomer here to the series as well. He's currently riding in second, so a fantastic debut by him so far.
Yeah, awesome stuff from Gillette there. Running a 15.6 for his first lap as we find our way through to Ben Wilson in the 00. Yet to set a time on the board, but one thing that you're noticing is that the drivers are running low, basically not riding the walls. See that Wilson is running the sort of middle of the road sort of line here. That's where he thinks the grip is, and that's where he's most comfortable. We'll see if it works out for him. A little bit of over rotation there down low. You want to try and get the car straight on exit here if you want to be fast. These cars are not like the sprint cars that you see. They don't produce much in the way of downforce. It's all about mechanical grip, managing that mechanical grip through these corners. Whittington is currently the fastest in qualifying. Wilson setting a 16.008 there. That's going to put him 6th overall. Still waiting on times from Henderson, Dorr, and Jared Miller. We'll see what we can do from here in terms of setting those heat grids. 2.5 minutes left in the session. Still a few cars left to set times. There goes Henderson up to 4th place. That's an excellent first lap there, but he's immediately beaten by Miller.
Got Jared Miller there, Karen, and sneaking it away, albeit by a very narrow increment. It seems to be that these guys are incredibly close, and definitely, despite it being a smaller track, ladies and gentlemen, certainly, there's definitely some variation. Obviously, if you look throughout the field, actually, the best time currently 15.52, all the way down to 16.1, so it's about 6-7 tenths of a second in it, ladies and gentlemen, as I believe there's only a couple of cars left on track. Potentially, they may have indeed wrapped it up.
Looks like James Dorr is the last driver to come out onto the track. So we'll see what Dorr can do here in the number 78. Set a 15.1 at best in practice. The track has been used a bit more, and so the times will be a little bit slower. Let's see if he can match that kind of pace. 15.6, that's a great first lap from him. Puts himself overall P2. So that's pole position for Heat 2 from my estimations. But still has to complete this lap here and see if he can improve on it. 15.5 to beat, and it's a 15.53. Oh, there is only more. That's 14 thousandths of a second in it between himself and Jackson Whittington for the quick time. But certainly Whittington will be very happy with his performance there. He's done what he did in the last round as well. He's just stopped on the circuit at the end of qualifying here.
Well, very quickly, if I managed to sneak something in here, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to take a quick look at this, look at that. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what the sponsor P1 Sim Sports has been making, and I've got to say, it's first.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty damn cool. Definitely 3D printed, but you know what? What a cool accessory to get on your sim rig, ladies and gentlemen. And certainly, you know what? All you got to do is refer a driver, but I believe that is indeed the end of it. Let's take a quick look here at the grid. You can see there for the first race, we're going to have Jackson Whittington. He's going to be starting in first. Ryan Gillette in second. Dustin Regan is going to be third, with William Kirk in fourth.
Okay, so it's been split into 3 heats. 4 cars for heats 1 and 2, 3 cars for heat 3. So quick time in qualifying, pole position for heat 1. Second place in qualifying is pole position for heat 2. Third place is qualifying for pole position for heat 3. So Whittington, Dorr, and Hommel are your pole sitters. So first one here with 4 cars getting ready to go behind the pace truck. Very large machine that controls the pace here, but it's going to be 2 formation laps around here before they get things going. You see that Whittington is already making sure that his steering is to his liking, and he's going to need it because it's going to be a competitive first heat here.
Oh, I can definitely believe it for sure. It's been incredibly close, and you know what? I think for me that adds to the part of it, and certainly, again, I think I'm going to have to do a couple of laps with these guys just to get a better gist of how this works. But I've got to say, so far, I'm absolutely loving the action, and certainly this heat format as well. It's not just educational, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Certainly, you've only got a couple of laps to try and make these race results count, so you really got to, you can't be hanging around. You can't be waiting for, just a little bit of a gimme of anything. You've really got to absolutely get the position done and hold on to it, as I believe, ladies and gentlemen, they are going green.
They are indeed. Whittington leads the way into turn 1. Dustin Regan, a little bit too much sliding down low, left himself vulnerable to an outside attack from Ryan Gillette, but almost gets tapped there by William Kirk as they make their way around the first lap. It's going to be an 8-lap heat here, and Gillette trying to set up the low line here. He's got it down pat. Jackson Whittington is minding his own business up front, but he's not quite jetting away from these guys like I expected to. So we'll have to wait and see what he can do from here. It's set up in the session so that the top 5 from each heat get straight through to the feature. With the amount of cars we have today, that means that everyone who signed up is going to be able to take to the feature grid. As around the outside goes Dustin Regan, and second place is his over Ryan Gillette for now.
Well, incredibly close with about 4 laps of 8 completed so far, and just a minute, ladies and gentlemen. It's fair to say a lap time in this, about 15, 16 seconds. It's a pretty short sprint, and ladies and gentlemen, right now, Jackson Whittington is leading the charge. Dustin Regan in second. You've got Ryan Gillette in third, and William Kirk up there in fourth. So certainly some incredibly close racing so far. A couple of newcomers here. I've got to say a huge welcome and hello, but it looks like Dustin Regan starting to close in a little bit there on the 511 of Jackson Whittington.
Yeah, it looked like Whittington ran a little bit too high there over out of the corner and maybe tapped the wall a little bit, lost some momentum. Dustin Regan is right on him, but it's a little bit too sideways up the top there. You want to try and keep the car as straight as you can in these cars. That's how you go fast around a track like this. Regan trying to alter the amount of sliding of that car in the middle of the corner, try and get the best momentum he can. You see how much opposite lock they run through these corners. It's basically just wrench the wheel to the left, get the car sliding, and then you're all the way over to the right, trying to maintain that slide. Last lap, and it looks like Jackson Whittington is going to have this one in the bag across the line, and finishing Whittington, Regan, Gillette, and Kirk are your finishers in the order that they started, aside from second and third. Regan and Gillette swapping places there.
Oh, definitely a very fun race indeed, and I've got to say it's definitely a new format. I do apologise, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly very much learning my way around the dirt oval side, but there you go. The results are indeed in incredibly close battles so far, as we are going to be getting ready for another race, ladies and gentlemen. This time it's going to be James Dorr on the pole. Jared Miller is in second. Kenneth Feeney, he's going to be on third, and then race control. Ladies and gentlemen, that is literally just race control. It's Mo, the league admin. He's going to be there, not running with us today. He's keeping an eye, making this league even higher quality. So it's going to be a 3-horse race in this one, ladies and gentlemen. And certainly as well, you know what? This could be an opportune moment for some of these drivers.
Certainly could. Feeney, a little bit off the pace of Dorr and Miller in qualifying, set a 15.9, whereas Dorr and Miller were a 15.5 and a 15.6. So you stretch that out over 8 laps, that's there's a chance that he might fall behind. But if there's a problem for either of the top 2, he can get past them and ultimately improve his feature starting position. Remember, the purpose of the heats is really to set the grid for the feature. So every race counts here.
Oh, certainly. I mean, that is definitely, it's hard. It's kind of like a long-term qualifying, and you just got to fight with the other people on track. And I got to say, as a format, I'm really liking it. But certainly, I think this paint is probably going to be my favorite so far. The black and green there of Jared Miller, definitely very vibrant. I'm loving the amount of pop it's got, and certainly as well, one of our sponsors here at the No Limit Racing thing is 5.6 Graphics. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for a paint for your dirt late model, definitely hit those guys up.
Indeed. I used to drive a neon green car myself. The first team I ever joined on iRacing was XSG Motorsports, and they had a very similar color scheme to that. So I've got a soft spot in my heart for that bright green that you see on cars occasionally. Well, completing the first of our formation laps here, and I'm keeping an eye on the way the track is evolving. It seems like in these conditions, the track's not evolving quite as hard as it was at Lanier, but there is a clear groove starting to form as we are away here at Charlotte for Heat 2. Great start from James Dorr. You see that the slick is already massive on the way there into turn 1, and Dorr getting off to a good start. This top 2, leaving Kenneth Feeney in the dust as it were, but they are racing each other very closely. If they make contact, if there's a spin, then Feeney will be there to pounce.
But certainly, Jared Miller definitely keeping James Dorr very honest on that. And if you're in the 35 car, Kenneth Feeney, definitely you're going to be looking for these guys to collide, as I thought it was going to happen there. Jared Miller absolutely right up the chop of the 78 of James Dorr. He's not quite been able to get it done. As I say that, almost side by side, nose to tail, ladies and gentlemen. They're lap 3 of 8. There's still a little bit of real estate left to go, and it looks like Jared Miller's going to be there up on the inside. He's got the inside line. It's a drag race sideways as they keep continuing this battle. It's not over yet.
Jared Miller got stuck in the slick there with the rear of the car coming into turns 1 and 2. He's trying to use that inside line to get the momentum on James Dorr, but he's going to have to pull one heck of a slide job if he wants to make this work. Dorr seems very comfortable at the moment running that line, and even covers Miller on the low line there. Not seeing anyone run all the way down to the bottom yet. Seems like everyone wants to preserve their cars, avoid hitting those tire stacks down there on the bottom. But for now, still a fantastic battle between our top 2. Looks like Miller trying to line up an exit here. He's running high. He's keeping that momentum up through the corners, but at the moment, James Dorr seems to be moving lower and lower. He's gone for that geometric fastest line, and he's keeping the car straight and smooth through the turns.
I almost feel like they're playing a game of automotive limbo at this point, Rhys. Certainly just how low can you go? Trying to get that optimum line, trying to find the grip, as currently the 78 car is out in front, but Jared Miller certainly keeping him very honest. That gap under 0.3 of a second now.
Oh, last chance here for Miller to make an impression on Dorr, but it's not going to be enough across the line. Dorr takes victory, and Miller gave him one heck of a race there. Fantastic battle for the lead. So it's Dorr, Miller, and Feeney finishing in that order then for the second heat of the night. We then move on to Heat 3, which is another 3-car field for this one. The number 42 of Garrett Hommel is going to be on pole position. But we'll see Mike Henderson and Ben Wilson join him there. But that's your finishing order for the second heat. Dorr, Miller, and Feeney. And then we move to this final heat before we get into the 35-lap feature. Hommel, Henderson, and Wilson. Your battle here. Now, looking at the times here, looks like a similar situation to Heat 2. Hommel versus Wilson in qualifying, it was just over 0.3 of a second, which is quite a distance around a dirt oval like this. So I think Ben Wilson's going to be trying the same sort of thing that Kenneth Feeney is, just mind his own business and hope that the leaders come together.
Well, certainly that's definitely going to be my approach in this. And maybe as well, you know, this is an opportunity to see just how some of these faster guys are doing it. Certainly Mike Henderson, he's currently rocking just over 2100 I rate. So he definitely knows his way around a dirt oval circuit. Certainly, you know, this could be a learning opportunity for some of the drivers as well. You know, this is a chance to see, okay, how is this guy such a high I rating and what can I do to improve? I believe it's a fixed setup for this series as well. So certainly it's not in the car, it's all in the driver.
Yeah, for sure. I believe you can change brake bias potentially in these cars, but that's about it on a fixed setup. So let's see what they can do. Try and get that rotation that they need as the track gets ever more worn. There is a big shoulder of clay up the very top as the green flag flies, and we are racing. That is a perfect getaway from Garrett Hommel. Mike Henderson didn't have much of a response to him, and even then it looks like Henderson is under pressure from Wilson there ever so briefly, but gets up to pace very quickly. He's running that high line. He is right in the cushion. There's a lot of grip for that 313 machine, and he's going low to try and catch up.
Well, that was definitely a huge gain there from the 313 car, looking to try and capture the 42 of Garrett Hommel, and I believe he's currently getting done. Hummel, 1600 I rating versus the 2100. I gotta say, Ben Wilson had a fantastic start. It's like Henderson was caught sleeping for a second there, but right now, Henderson is definitely the man to watch. He's applying pressure on Hummel. He's pulling away there from Ben Wilson. I say that, Wilson actually ebbing a little bit closer and put that gap down to just 3/10 of a second there. Going to be a little bit slower on corner exit, but can he maintain it? Hummel currently pulling away. That gap opened up to almost a second there. How the tables have turned.
Yeah, looks like Henderson definitely has the pace to challenge for the win, but not able to get those laps consistently. It was a 16.2 on the previous lap, and now he goes faster than Hummel again, so he's starting to line up another bit of momentum here. He's not going to have much time to get it done, though. Oh, look at the run from Wilson here in the middle of the corner. He's definitely comfortable there on the middle line, and he is running that cushion very nicely. See how much straighter his car is than Henderson's. That's the reason why he's able to catch up through the turns.
Well, certainly the old age thing of, you know, if you're going sideways, it generally slows you down. I'm wondering if there's a certain element of truth to that, because certainly as much fun as it is, oh dear.
Oh no,
What's
Hummel.
happened with Garrett Hummel?
Oh, looks like some technical issues for him. That's not ideal.
Oh,
this is the worst time for that to happen. Oh dear. I think Hummel might be out of this one. No, he's popped back in. Very inconsistent connection there for our leader. It's unclear who's going to be classed as the victor here in Heat 3, but across the line they will come, and it looks like Hummel might have just gotten it here. Mike Henderson and Ben Wilson rounding out the 3 cars to take part in that final heat.
Well, I gotta say, definitely a very good race, and I gotta say props to Ben Wilson, especially. You know, he's on paper he was very much up against it. I feel he really did very well there. Certainly, you know what, he wasn't phased. The I rating was just a number to him, but absolutely fantastic job right there. As we're gonna move on, ladies and gentlemen, this is gonna be the big race of the night, and look at that! What a grid race! What a grid!
Yeah, indeed. We got Whittington and Dorr on the front row, followed up by Garrett Hummel and Dustin Regan. Jared Miller and Mike Henderson are your third row, with Ryan Gillette alongside Kenneth Feeney on row 4. 10 cars for this one. Ben Wilson and William Kirk will round out your grid. Oh boy, here we go. Basically, it's sort of some weird inversions going on versus the heat results. So our heat winners are your top 3. Second place in the heats are the next 3 positions. Then it's the third place cars and then the fourth place cars. So let's get going. I'm looking forward to this 35 lap feature, and of course yellow flags will be a thing. Of course, while the yellow flag is out, while we're under caution, laps don't count. So you've got to make sure that you have the fuel in your car that you need in order to complete those yellow flag runs along with the green flag runs.
Well, certainly a longer race as well. We've had 8 laps previously. We're up in the game on this one, ladies and gentlemen. 35 laps with the cautions, as Rhys was saying. It's going to be a lot more. Certainly, it's not going to be a little bit of a sprint. You've definitely got to go just that a little bit further. Try and hold on, maintain it, and certainly, you know, low risk, high reward. Certainly, this is probably the only race series I've ever seen where literally to pass, you have to have the car at least a 30-degree, if not a 45-degree slip angle.
Yeah, they definitely get right out sideways in these late models. As we come around the second of our formation laps, it's going to be interesting to see Jackson Whittington versus James Dorr here at the front. They were very close in qualifying, and I think it's going to be a rollicking battle for victory between these two. Oh dear. Looks like Garrett Hummel still with some technical issues there. Hopefully he can sort those out as we get ready to start here. Number 5, 1 across the line, and through we go to begin the feature. Whittington getting off to a good start.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're still seeing that blinking there from Hummel. That's not going to inspire much confidence in the drivers around him. Wondering if he might get a directive from race control to pull off the circuit, because frankly, that's dangerous in a feature race like this one. But regardless, not much of a problem for our leaders. Whittington off to the perfect start.
I have a feeling he has indeed been black flagged. He's showing it as lap traffic. As I say that, now he's reappeared, and we got an accident there for Mike Henderson. Something has gone wrong, very badly wrong. I do wonder if we're going to see the caution come out. It hasn't appeared yet, but ladies and gentlemen, the battle continues. Kenneth Feeney currently going at it with William Kirk.
Indeed, this is the battle further down for 8th spot. Very close between these two. Can William Kirk get past Kenneth Feeney, who is the only car apart from our top two still occupying the same position he started in there, with Mike Henderson having his troubles just a few moments ago. It's a great battle for 4th as well. Jared Miller and Garrett Hommel, who looks like his technical issues have been sorted somewhat. Nice stable connection, but just as I say that, he blinks out, and that's not going to be very confidence-inspiring there. Jared Miller has not much choice but to stay high here as he battles with Ryan Gillette in the number 14 to try and get into the top 4.
Well, certainly these guys are definitely trying, and it's almost a bit of a nightmare there. Certainly not just for Hummel, but everybody around him. You know, I do wonder, you know, what would be the right approach. I think maybe a black flag could be in order for that one. It's hard because you don't want to penalize the guy. It's obviously out of his control, but, you know, the guys have just got to try and survive it. And I think at this point, all he can do is try and hug that inside line, have his competitors go around the outside, but all they're doing that. Jackson Whittington, he's pulling away, got 1.3, 1.5 second gap now. James Dorr, he's pulling away. Justin Regan, he's doing away. And right now, Jared Miller looking to try and compete, but with Garrett Hommel constantly flashing in and out, I do wonder if he's a little bit nervous to try and use all of the track.
Looks like Hommel's fallen behind now, and now he becomes Ryan Gillette's problem with the blinking at the moment. Miller has been running consistently high, and it seems to be working for him. He's gaining ever so slightly on Dustin Regan. So we'll see what he can do, taking a 10th out on the last lap, running all the way up to the wall there. He's feeding the right rear is what they tend to say. Running on the cushion very nicely. But we are 11 laps into the feature, and as Hommel tries to line up a move here, you're going to start to see the lower lines come back into play. Less cars running on them, and so they'll end up being a little bit more grip laid on in the race.
We're on board with Hummel right now. We just see how close we can stay with him. You can see there Jared Miller doing everything he can to try and get by. The quote of one spoke, well, I guess I'm still a very famous commentator, gently does it. It's definitely going to be the approach here as the Serbini is trying to do everything he can. And yeah, as you said, getting lower and lower. Ryan Gillette hanging in the background. He's currently up one position, but right now the hard charger, definitely one of the rookies here in the series. The 00 car of Ben Wilson currently up 2 spots.
Yeah, indeed. 7th place at the moment. He's all on his own. He's got that 3-car battle ahead of him, and he's got a 2-car battle behind. Feeney and Kirk still fighting over 8th spot just behind us. The 35 of Feeney actually gets into the wall there, and that's going to grant William Kirk 8th place. He is up 2 spots now himself.
Definitely the way to success is definitely to avoid the wall, and no yellow flags yet. As I say that, it's happened, ladies and gentlemen. We're on a full course caution.
All right, full course caution here, and it seems like Kenneth Feeney there in the 35. Big issue there up the top of the circuit. I'm not sure if this is a competition caution or if we've seen another car have some issues. Regardless, we're going to reset things for a couple of laps here and get going for the final 20 laps of this feature. This is what happened here to Henderson. Oh, yeah, getting into the wall. Yeah, that's not ideal.
Well, definitely very easily done, ladies and gentlemen. As I got to say, these guys are very quick to get the caution sorted out. Right now, my timing and scoring is absolutely going bonkers, ladies and gentlemen. It's showing me that Garrett Hommel is currently in P1. I'm not so sure at this point. Certainly, you know, it's having a little bit of a hiss fit at this point.
Yeah, Hommel, I think, still... okay. Hommel has been disqualified from the race, from race control, and I think that's due to his connection. That's a real shame. Garrett was certainly running quite well, and he had the pace to compete for the podium, but his connection just was not with him today. Commiserations to Garrett. Hopefully he comes back for future rounds and is able to get a consistent connection going. Well, we're about to get things started again here to run the final 20 laps of the feature. And it's been reset a bit here up the front. Jackson Winnington and James Dorr back together once again. Dustin Regan granted 3rd place. Jared Miller in 4th. So let's go as we move on away. Immediately to the inside goes Dustin Regan, very close to getting those tyres all up in his front bumper. But James Dorr trying his best to work that higher line and get the exit. It's actually neck and neck between these two. They are allowing Whittington to get away.
And you can see there on the inside is Dustin Regan. He's doing everything he can, which I think is going to be my new gently does it in the race equivalent, ladies and gentlemen. But the 33 very much taking on the 78 car right now. And you can see there Ryan Gillette looking to try and snake a move as well. Jared Miller, we've seen some great potential from him, but not yet able to move himself up through the order. But Ryan Gillette right now up 3 positions. Ben Wilson up 3 positions. William Kirk up 3 positions.
Yeah, some good charging going on in the midfield as James Dorr, it looks like, has gotten clear of Dustin Regan for 3rd place, but you see that Regan is going all the way down low. He's trying to make that line work, trying to build a cushion down low for some moves up the inside, and he continues to draw alongside James Dorr, but the high line is still king here. You're still able to run a little bit higher speed through the turns and carry more momentum onto the straights.
Well, I think Regan's going to have to, absolutely put his foot down a little bit while he is giving James Dorr a good battle. Ryan Gillette is very much in the pursuit as well. Jared Miller not far behind. Quite even spacing, but actually the closest battle right now is between these two gentlemen. It's Ben Wilson and Kevin Feeney, and it looks like Feeney's going to make a move on the inside. Yeah, he's definitely done it on corner entrance. Wilson has to go wide, and it looks like he's been able to sneak his way through.
Yeah, a little bit of a bump and run there from
Jared
Kenneth
Miller.
Feeney and Jared Miller. Jared Miller in the wall. The yellow flag is out once again. The number 70 has found the wall somewhere, and oh dear, his front right does not look good. It looks like quite the hit to the wall there. Just went a bit too hot into the turn, it seems. And actually, it looks like he caught the... he hit the rear end, caught the wall, and then there's a wall gap right here at the exit. Just goes straight into it, and that loses his front right. You're about to see it here.
A little bit of contact there. I had to go back a little bit further to just try and catch it, but we'll have a quick look. We'll find it.
Yeah, we will. Laps are quick around here, so we're going to get it very shortly. That's not it. I'm sure we're about to see it here. No.
How far back did I go? I went back a lot.
Good question.
I went back a lot.
Okay.
Let's go back to live.
Yeah, I think the caution would be over by the time we got to see it, but rest assured, it was not what you want to see for Jared Miller. Just tap the wall with the rear, and then the front of the car comes around just in time for the gap in the wall on the exit of the corners, and there's a bit of a hard edge to the wall there that you got to make sure to avoid. In any case, getting ready to go again.
Well, I can confirm that indeed there was a disqualification there for Garrett Hull. Mike Henderson did not want to run with that conditions, and I got to say, I understand it, but certainly I think I still would have gone out and given it a go. But I got to say, what an absolutely fantastic pack these guys have got together. Not an absolute lick between them. They're going green, ladies and gentlemen. Go, baby, go. Jackson Whittington, he's been dominant all night, but can he keep it going? Dustin Regan applying pressure, and you see Ryan Gillette there looking to make a move and get himself up on the podium.
Yeah, Ben Wilson, meanwhile, caught the wall hard, and it looks like he's completely lost the right-hand side of his car.
Ow.
Caution back out. Yeah. You have to go back to the restart for that one. He was already dealing with some damage there on the 00 was Ben Wilson, and I think it might have been contact, actually. It was contact with the 70 of Jared Miller. So you see Miller dive to the inside here, but goes up into him, and then a massive hit to the wall. Ben Wilson will be none too happy with that.
That is definitely not the angle he was going for, and it's fair to say that Who's Your Tire is a very interesting alignment, ladies and gentlemen. And you got to wonder as well, you know, this race does have race controls. You see there, Ben Wilson there trying to get to the pits, bless him. He's given it his best effort, but definitely not what he was looking for.
No, certainly not. Hopefully he can get back out there. What we did see from that restart was an excellent getaway from Dustin Regan. He was able to follow Jackson Whittington on the restart and put James Dorr back to third place. Well, now Dorr is right behind our overall leader, and the leader controls the start on restarts. So if you're right behind them, as opposed to having to look out the side of your car at them, you stand a better chance of keeping up with the momentum that Whittington gets on these restarts. So we'll see what Dorr can do to respond.
Look how incredibly close he is, and you can see we can see the fuel tank in the back of that. It almost feels like a rather inappropriate camera angle, actually, on the back of Jackson Whittington. But certainly these guys, I gotta say, for a formation lap, they're on point. But I gotta say, Jackson Whittington, ladies and gentlemen, green, and he is out of here.
No, he certainly is, but Dustin Regan and James Dorr will be catching him very quickly. Kenneth Feeney trying to challenge for the podium. There's some contact down low there. That's Feeney and Gillette, I believe. Feeney and Kirk, sorry. William Kirk. Oh, no, that's Feeney getting into the wall. My apologies. And the caution is back out again.
Oh my gosh. Well, they say that a caution course is a caution. Let's take a quick replay. Rhys, pick a driver. Which view would you like it from?
I reckon we should see it from Feeney's perspective, because he has got quite a bit of damage on his car there. Seems like there was a little bit of contact down low with Ryan Gillette initially, and then unfortunately he just couldn't keep control of the car. So off the restart we come, and you'll see that the car starts swaying a little bit here as he finds his way through. There's a little bit of contact. I think that might have broken the rear of the car there. He just couldn't keep the slide going, and he goes out into the wall. That was suspension damage for sure.
Well, despite the 700 horsepower, I guess they're maybe not quite as robust as these drivers would like it, as the yellow flag does indeed return. And as for Kenneth Feeney's car, I don't think he's 100% back there yet. Maybe he's just slowing down to hit the end of the line, but it did not seem like it was on full strength, you could say. We'll find out very shortly.
So, yeah, late models in real life are known for being able to take a beating, but really, you need to make sure that you hit the bodywork and not the wheels if you want the other driver to continue. Well, 11 laps remain. 10 laps, my apologies, and through we go once again. The number 33 of Dustin Regan trying to keep that second place from James Dorr's hands. And they're not letting Jackson Whittington get away in the short term, but only a few laps left. Who wins, the low line or the high line? Have a look at the fling in there from Jared Miller there as he tried to get past Ryan Gillette. Side by side between Regan and Dorr for second place. Oh, hello.
It looks like Kenneth Feeney and William Kirk are going at it as well. There is battles throughout the field. Jared Miller, he's still trying to take that high line. Ryan Gillette, he's pretty important as well. But I think we may have a contest here up front, and it's between James Dorr and Dustin Regan.
Yeah, around the outside, James Dorr trying to keep the position here, but Regan is lining up the inside very nicely. He's going for those dives coming in. The track is so slick up high. Dorr has very little pace up top there. Question is, will they be able to get it done by the time the checkered flag flies? Yeah, you see he's flinging it into those corners as Dustin Regan in the 33. But it seems that seems that Dorr running the middle line through turns 3 and 4 is able to keep him behind.
Well, we return to another battle, and this time it's between Ryan Gillette and Jared Miller, and certainly these guys have been going at it quite evenly matched, I would say. And you know what? It's been an absolute great battle, but that did look like Miller running a little bit wide there, thankfully able to avoid the wall. Gillette getting lower and lower. Certainly we've seen Miller. He's definitely been running that high line, but I do wonder if maybe a change of technique, maybe in order. It does appear the low line is starting to become even more potent. As you say that, he's closed the gap down even further there on the number 14.
Yeah, the slick's starting to extend across the track on the entry to these corners. We only have 2 laps remaining when the leaders cross the line next. So close between Ryan Gillette and Jared Miller. Can Miller get it done and get into the top 4 for Whittington? He is about to come up on the white flag. It's been a phenomenal drive from the 511 thus far, and we'll see what he can do to keep that gap up to James Dorr. The battle's still on here between Gillette and Miller. Could be a very close contest, but up front, Jackson Whittington, he won the first round's feature, and he's going to make it 2 from 2 thus far in the No Limit Racing season with the win here at Charlotte.
I've got to say, fantastic job by him. James Dorr, it looks like he's going to bring it home there in second. Oh, yeah, very short track. Ryan Gillette, not quite able to get it at the end. He had a very good fight there with Jared Miller. I've got to say, that's definitely one of the spicier ones throughout the feature. William Kirk, he's going to be rocking there. Oh, he stopped already. I guess short track, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm looking at the top speed, actually, and I've got to say, Jared Miller, 113 mile an hour on dirt, in and over. I've got to say, that's pretty spunky.
Yeah, certainly is, and you think that's impressive. Wait till you see sprint cars, goodness me. But for now, sticking with our late models, and our championship leader will extend his championship lead with 2 from 2 thus far. James Dorr and Dustin Regan completing the podium, and it was a great battle between the 2 of them. Ryan Gillette beating Jared Miller to the line for 4th. William Kirk takes 6th with Kenneth Feeney in 7th, and that's going to be the rest of our finishers there. Unfortunately, Ben Wilson finishing a lap down. Retirements from Mike Henderson and Garrett Hommel. Garrett's a bit forced due to his connection. Hopefully he can get that fixed up for the next round of the season next week. Well, looking forward to potentially having a chat to a couple of our drivers. It seems the top 3 have lined up on the front stretch there. Nice to see. We'll be able to find an interview with Jackson Whittington, our winner, very shortly.
Oh, there you go, Rhys, do the honors.
All right, Jackson, another victory on the cards for you here at Charlotte. Seemed like you were under a little bit more pressure than you were at the first round at Lanier.
I don't know. I saw that I had more of a lead up until the cautions started coming out, especially that last cautions when I started worrying. I saw I had a second lead on James, and then it cut down to 9/10, 8/10, 7/10. It was down to 6/10 at one point. So yeah, I started getting worried. I just started deciding to protect more towards like the last 5 laps. But yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it definitely looked fun. It's a nice wide track. You can really hang it out sideways around here. But we move on to the next round of the season next week, and it's at Cedar Lake, which is basically the polar opposite of Charlotte.
Yeah, I'm excited to race there. I've raced there more and more as I've had this game. I mean, I can be quick there. I can just suck there. There's no in between. I'm either really, really, really good at Cedar Lake, or I really, really, really suck. I mean, like I said, no in between at all.
Well, regardless, hopefully you get the same result here as you there as you did here. Thanks for joining us, Jackson, and congratulations on the win.
And I thank some sponsors real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd like to thank Twisted Speed, 511 Designs, B&B Golf Carts, B&D Motorsports, and Orange County Graphics for pretty much everything, helping me get here, whatever.
Well,
yeah,
Jackson Whittington, thanks very much for joining us, mate. And yeah, we will catch you next week.
Yes, sir.
So Whittington off with the victory there. It was Dustin Regan in 3rd place, stood by with Zippy.
Well, I gotta say, Dustin, I'm certainly, you're definitely a quicker guy than myself in these, but tell us a little bit about your point of view here for this race. Certainly, I'm not the best guy to compare different circuits, but it looked like you're having a really good battle there with Jared Miller. Tell us a little bit about how it was from your point of view.
Well, feature was a lot slicker than I thought it was going to be. And, sorry, I have other people talking to me.
It's okay. I can't multitask either. You just watch the stream, you can verify.
Yeah. Yeah, the feature was a lot slicker than I thought it was going to be. Restarts were better on the bottom. The second to last restart, I thought I was going to hold off P2. And then we had that last caution, and it just didn't work out for me.
Well, I gotta say, you've done very well to get on the podium, sir. And I gotta say, huge respect to you. I mean, these are 700 horsepower machines. They are not for the faint of heart. Some of you guys doing a 100+ mile an hour on the top speed. Absolutely insane numbers from some of you guys. And I gotta say, Dustin, before we let you go, is there anybody you'd like to thank or give a shout out to?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Regan's Renos, Dice Race Designs, No Limit Racing for putting this all on, and yeah, that's about it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Dustin Regan. He was your third place finisher in the main feature race, driving the number 33. Absolutely fantastic job, and we'll see you here next week for what I believe is Cedar Lake.
Looking forward to it. Thanks.
Well, Rhys, I do understand you've been able to catch up with James Dorr, our second place finisher.
Yes, indeed. Welcome, James. You were piling the pressure on Whittington at points there. The cautions, there were quite a few of them here tonight. That gave you some extra chances to try and keep up with them on the restarts. You almost lost that second place as well.
Yeah. I mean, I lost the second. I wasn't really expecting the restart, so I mean, it is what it is. You know, I had to fight back to get that second place, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it is indeed. Well, regardless, a second place finish in the feature puts you in a very good point standings with a full season yet to come. Cedar Lake coming up next. It's going to be one of those circuits, especially with the pit entry coming through turn 1 up the very top, where you're going to have to be careful if you want to run the high line.
Yeah, I mean, it's also a very slick track too, so that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it certainly is. Well, is there anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
The No Limit guys and whoever put all this on.
James Dorr there, taking second place here at Charlotte. Fantastic drive indeed, and we'll see what he can do going forward, Zippy. Meanwhile, looks like we are about to wrap things up here.
Well, just about. Ladies and gentlemen, I figured we might as well bring in, we've got the time to, let's have a quick chat here with the league organizer, is the one and only Mr. Mo. Mo, tell us a little bit about what you've been doing over at No Limit Racing and what we've got to look forward to here as well. Maybe a bit of a shout out to your fantastic sponsors as well. Certainly P1 Sim Sports, excellent referral program.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so far, last week was kind of like our off week. So we just really hit the recruitment really hard. And of course, P1 Sim Sports definitely upped the ante on all recruitment. You did show that fancy little plaque. That is for everybody's race rig or wherever you kind of want to put it at. But pretty much every single person that's running the season right now, for every recruitment or recruit that they bring in and run a race, that's exactly what they would receive on top of, racing for setup, or not setups, but coaching from Fusion Setup Shop, which haven't really had a whole lot of chances to really get in touch with them on a lot of things, but we came in contact with them last season that we ran. We had 4 or 5 guys that came in for our open setup season, and those 4 guys were pretty much the top of the leaderboard every night, and that definitely got our attention. They must be doing something pretty good over there. But for the upcoming races in this season, we're still going to be hitting the recruitment pretty hard. Our league has grown substantially, especially shout out to Pit Road for getting us out and kind of showing us off a little bit with these broadcasts. It's kind of nice to be able to pop these things around on our Facebook profile, and it's kind of making these guys excited. So, that's definitely helping. And then we still have 5-6 Graphics that's, helped up the ante too, putting in some pretty sweet graphics that they're willing to do for car wraps. But yeah, I mean, it's been pretty exciting, and we've came pretty far just in basically a week of being off.
Well, I've got to say, it's fair that you've definitely been putting in a lot of work, and not only that, you've been in the process of moving. Certainly, I sympathize for you for that, but a great great effort here by Mo. Definitely really making some waves here in the dirt oval scene. And I got to say again, a huge shout out to the sponsors as well: P1 Sim Sports, Fusion Setup Shop, 5-6 Graphics as well. Definitely, if you guys want to get involved, check them out. Certainly, if you want to sim, Kevin at the P1 has definitely got some really cool looking gear. Like, he does it professionally, ladies and gentlemen. I think he even does a service where he will come and set it up for you. Which I gotta be honest, for myself, that's definitely got appeal. I just want it to work. But Mo, we're gonna let you go for now. Certainly, by all means, anybody at home, if you want to share these broadcasts, put them on your socials, absolutely, by all means, go right ahead. But we are gonna wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen. What an absolute belter! Rhys, any closing thoughts from yourself, sir?
Cedar Lake next week. I am incredibly excited for that one. Cedar Lake is one of my favorite dirt ovals on the iRacing service, and Zippy, I'm sure you'll find out firsthand when we get there.
Oh, absolutely, Rhys. Well, I gotta say, it's been an absolute pleasure. My name is Daniel Zippy Salmon, and joining me in the booth today, your lead commentator was indeed Rhys, the Southpaw Racer Gardener. By all means, check him out on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, Southpaw Racer. And then you had myself working the production controls as well. But for now, that's it for us. Next Tuesday, we're going to be back with the Radical Academy. But the week after, don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, No Limit Racing will be returning for Cedar Lake.